Hey, muscle mommies and muscle daddies. Today we're going to be talking about our parent relationships and how they can interfere with our romantic relationships. I go into some realizations I'm having, and hopefully you can make some connections as well. Y'all bitches are going to hate me because I'm snacking on tuna fish and crackers. Some of you guys may like tuna, but I feel like I've always been that person to love it and have to torture everybody else when I bring it around. I'm not going to apologize for it. And if I just put a bad taste in your mouth, so be it. But it tastes pretty damn good. We don't have an iced vanilla latte today. We have a glass of water. And this box light is washing me out. Urgh. You buy a light, you spend the money, and now you're washed out on the damn camera. We have some stuff to talk about today, and I actually took notes this time because my ADHD brain, as I call it, is off the rails sometimes. Right before I record a podcast, what will happen is I'll get an idea of like, ooh, I want to talk about this. And then the second I start thinking about that, I think about like a million other things I want to talk about. And at some point, I'm like, I need to write this down and maybe try to at least structure this a tad bit, and maybe it'll help me. Yesterday, I was thinking about feelings and how you have to ride the wave of feelings, because the night before, which was 2 days ago, I was really feeling a lot of like loss, and I was grieving my relationship again, as I usually am. And I turned on one of my meditations, and it was before bed, and it was called Ride the Wave. And I was so excited to do this meditation. And it's just like riding the wave of emotions. And like you had to think of a memory and go into this. And like as I'm thinking of this memory, my throat is like on fire. And like when I get emotional, that's what happens. Like my throat gets on fire. And it's just like it's a very uncomfortable experience. And it's something that I have to experience in order to get through it. But actually being in that spot is very uncomfortable. And so the next day I like had this idea, and it was to write a poem about riding the wave of feelings. I might as well just read it to you guys. Let me read it to you. Wait, guys, we forgot to take a breath today. Let's take a breath together before I read the poem. In through our nose. Hold for 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5. Exhale through our mouth. Let out a sigh. So one more time. Inhale through our nose. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Let anything you need go. Okay. Let's read this poem. Sometimes we see the big waves coming. Sometimes they hit us with no warning. All waves feel strong and powerful when you're in them. Sometimes like you will never survive through them. But every wave eventually crashes to the shore, and you come with it. Whether you're crawling on the sand or standing with pride, you are there every time, out alive. Sometimes the waves tire you out so much you decide it's not worth going back in, but I promise you it is. Your limbs will grow into a sturdy surfboard the more you swim, so don't stop paddling. The waves are yours to win. That was like the first poem that I really rhymed, and I kind of unintentionally made it rhyme, but I just love the way it came out. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to add it to my little poetry book I'm working on. Then, so here now I write this poem about waves, and I have like this fear of the ocean. I am very fascinated by sharks, also very terrified of them. I literally have a shark tattoo, and the first night I slept with it, I was like, holy fuck, this scares me. Like literally the shark scared me. It's a beautiful tattoo. It's like one of my favorite tattoos. I went on a run in Fire Island, and then I was like, all right, I want to like go, because it rained the whole day, so we didn't go to the ocean. I was like, I want to like jump in the ocean, do a little cold plunge. And even though it's June, the water is cold, so it's a cold plunge to me. And I took a cold shower the day before, and I was like, all right, let me do my cold plunge. So I don't want to go to the beach alone. I don't know why. I think it's because I have a fear of the ocean and I have a fear of sharks, and I just like need someone to be there. Like I think I imagine myself in the first scene of Jaws where they run out into the ocean. It's nighttime, but it literally wasn't nighttime in this scenario. And you know, like I don't understand the fear, and I try to look deeper into my fears. And I think a lot of my fears of the ocean are like the uncertainty And I try to relate that to my life. And I'm like, the uncertainty of life sometimes scares me too. Maybe that's why the ocean scares me. So I'm trying to like get really comfortable with that. And at the same time, it was a nice like activity to do after I had just wrote about riding the waves of feelings. So I tell my dad I want him to come with me, and it's like 8 a.m. We have to leave out of this place at 10. And he's like, okay. And then we're about to go down to the ocean, and I ask him to come in with me. He's like, no, I'm not coming in. And then I was like, can you like at least come on the sand? And he got really like mad at me. Like he got very aggressive because he just did. And then it kind of like put my mood down. But anyway, so I go into the water and I'm swimming against the waves. I'm trying to swim I'm trying to swim with them. That's the whole visualization, is you swim with the waves, not against them. And I was just like, oh, this feels like really refreshing. This is really nice. So we get out, and then I'm walking we're walking home back to the house, which is just down the block. And I'm pissed off because my dad got aggressive for like no reason, it feels like. And he just let that aggression out on me. And then it just put me in a bad mood because I went to the ocean to like feel really good and have this little like cleanse and like this really exciting cold plunge moment. And it felt like it got ruined. So I walk back. And as I'm walking back, this is kind of what I'm thinking of. I, of course, think generationally, like how he was raised and how that makes him act like this and all these different things. As I'm thinking this, I'm like, just so, I'm like, the way I look at it is like my attachment style gets like triggered. I'm like mostly securely attached, but in certain, like everybody goes like, it's a spectrum. Everybody goes from one side to the other when things happen. But like with my dad, I get very avoidant and I just like don't want to talk to him, and I'm like walking away, and I like, cause he's not going to apologize. We just get like stubborn in that way. And I'm just like walking back. And then I just thought about how your parents are not going to change. And that's hard to sit with. And even if they do, you still have to sit with the fact that they're probably not going to. Or maybe they never did, and you don't have your parent here with you anymore. What's really tough is when I was younger, and I would get in these things with my dad in this sense, it's like the same routine. It's like this avoidant routine of, you angered me, you hurt my feelings. I show you that my feelings are hurt by saying like, whatever, I react. And then you're not going to apologize. You're not going to acknowledge it. You're not going to take accountability for it. So I'm going to walk away, and I'm not going to try to fix this because you're not going to try to fix this. So that's kind of been my whole life of like, I'm just going to go up in my room and deal with this on my own because this person will not come around to deal with it with me. I think it's like this feeling of, you can see yourself from when you're younger, all the ways in which you used to fight with your parents still consist to this day. And it's really strange, and it really never changes. Like it takes a lot for those patterns to change. And oftentimes if your parent's not confronting the issue, you don't want to confront it. So it's a really like weird ground to be walking on. And I always think, and I try to figure out why I always find like the type of men that need, I don't want to say fixing, but like they almost need a mommy in a way to be patient with them and be like, hey, I'm here for you to emotionally dump on me and react how you want to react, whether it's in a childish way or not. And then I just kind of have to emotionally put up with it because I'm your mother, except in these cases, I'm not the mother. But I feel like I've been attracting men that have much deeper issues that are very unresolved with their parents. And I almost feel like a backboard for them to see if like, oh, like this woman is triggering my attachment to my parents, and this is like the perfect recipe that my body is familiar with, and the chaos to me is comfort. And people always say, like in the Olivia Rodrigo song where she was like, oh my God, just saw Olivia Rodrigo in concert. She was so amazing. But in her song, she was like, but I am my father's daughter, so maybe I can fix him. And I always think about that line. And I have this thing like with my dad, that I've brought out more affectionate side of him. And I have like the classic avoidant father. And like I try to get him to talk about his feelings more. And over the past few years, he's made a lot of progress, but it's not my job. But I will take on that job anyways because I don't want to feel the wrath of an avoidant fight and feeling like I can't express my feelings. So in turn, I try to help the person change, but that's not my job. And I think I take that role on with a lot of people. Like I've been in friendships and with like in romantic relationships or just the people I've attracted in my life are people who I feel aren't at a maturity level that I'm at. And I'm kind of like pulling them to my maturity level. And when I say maturity, I mean like emotional maturity. Like I'm trying to pull them to communicate better. I'm trying to do this. And it's really difficult. I guess what I'm saying here is I've been trying to get through the root of why I attract certain people. And I look at my relationship with my parents and I try to find some connections. So I'm trying to figure out how can I change my perspective about my parents and the way and about our dynamic and with my brother too, to help me attract a person that is good for me to bring into my life. So another perspective I look at this is the way how I always seek out love and attention from people who I'm not getting it from. And so I feel like this is a can of worms, and it definitely is. And I'll get into it. So my mom, she's a very affectionate person. I don't really like getting a bunch of affection from her. I often don't want to be hugged by her. And I'm often like, all right, like, get off me, get off me, get off me. I do hug her. I'm not like I do get affection with her sometimes, but it's like her affection kind of like feels very overpowering, but it's nothing wrong with her. It's just the way I am. And then with my dad, he's not like that affectionate. So I'm constantly trying to find moments to like get him to be affectionate, and I'm being constantly affectionate with him. And it's like me always trying to like, I think like break his shell, like his hard outer shell. And my brother, I feel like I have so many things that come from my brother, and it's like weird coming to the realization that like you could develop things from siblings. It's not just parents. My brother is similar in the way where he will not give me attention. I have to like fight for his attention. I've always felt like I'm always being like, oh my God, please give me a hug. Or like, I'm just constantly nagging at him for attention because he doesn't give it to me. And the same way I am with my dad. And I think that is like what develops this behavior of chasing them into a direction of loving you and like gaining attention from them. So I think about me and my ex's relationship of how I felt like I was trying to like break that outer shell constantly and like bring him closer to me. And I think my body kind of was just used to the chase of, this is not them. Like, this is just their shell. Like, I will break that shell and I will get the real them. When sometimes you kind of have to accept, like, this is the real them. There may no be breaking of an outer shell. That's difficult to deal with. And I think if I bring the perspective to my parents of, like, I need to accept that, and my brother, of, like, they will not change, or just anybody in my family, like, these people, you have to accept their behaviors and what they're like as they are. And once you can accept that, maybe you'll stop trying to chase that all the time in romantic relationships as well. It's kind of crazy. It really is. I feel like that was like a huge realization right there. And it's kind of like, whoa, because I'm in this position in my life where I'm single and I'm thinking about, how do I attract this person that I'm envisioning? And when I say like envisioning, I'm not saying that I want a perfect, like picture perfect person. This is who's going to be my significant other. But I'm longing for things like emotional maturity and somebody who is willing to work with me and help me and bring out sides of me that make me feel really good about myself. And in order to do this, I have to become that person. So instead of searching for the one, I have to be the one that I'm searching for. If I want someone who's adventurous, is going to take me out of my comfort zone, I need to take myself out of my comfort zone. If I want someone like no one's coming. No one's coming to do the things that you want to do. No one's coming to go plan a trip with you and go go backpacking like you've always wanted to do. No one's coming to run a marathon with you. You have to sign up yourself. Everything comes down to you at the end of the day. So stop waiting for somebody to make you feel confident in yourself and make you feel seen and heard. Like, wipe off the dust of the mirror and see yourself, hear yourself. And I also wrote another poem the other day where I was talking about how I don't want to attract somebody, and the best thing about them is that they see how good I am. They see how good of a girlfriend I am. They see how good of a partner I am. They see what I can do for people and what I do for them. I don't want that to be their main characteristic. I want to be seeing them so well and be so captivated by their presence. I want to be so captivated by the person themselves. And then the person that I'm so captivated by and seeing sees me. Obviously, I want somebody to see like my good qualities, but like, how many times do we come home and we're like, oh my God, yeah, he said that I was really sweet and really nice. And like, he said, I'm really good to listen to. Yeah. But like, you know that, don't you? You know, like, you don't need a man to tell you that. You don't need a significant other or a person at the bar or just a person that you have sex with to tell you those things. You know those things about yourself. Like, tell me something I don't know. Make me see something I don't know. That's what I'm looking for. And that person is going to be the one that sees me for who I am, but I'm also seeing them for who they are, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't want somebody that's just like a reflection of myself. Like, I don't want to love somebody so hard that like when we break up, I'm just like, this literally happened to me, but like we break up and then I'm just like, I feel like all the love in the relationship was just a reflection of my love. Like, I was the one who created this love. I kept it here. I kept the safe space. I made everything soft and vulnerable and exciting and this and that. And what were they doing? Like, I know what I can give. What can you give? So bringing it back with parents, there's a lot of accepting you have to do and changing of that perspective, I think, to help you attract the right kind of person. So patterns that are not healthy for you aren't repeating in your future relationships. And of course, like, we do have to empathize with our parents because they may have never learned how to communicate effectively. You know, they are daughters and sons as well. The same way we are their daughter and son, they are daughter and sons of somebody else. And so we can't tear them up about it, but like, we kind of have to just learn to accept that that's what that is. We don't want to continue those things for the person we raised, maybe. So I have empathy for, you know, my parents. I'm not being like, oh, I'm so, you know, yes, in the moment, it's very like, oh my God, like, why can't he just apologize? Why can't he take accountability? But I do understand like where it comes from, but it doesn't make it right. So maybe in a way we can understand where it comes from for us and understand that that doesn't make it right to repeat. It just is how it was growing up, but it needs to be changed. I kind of want to wrap it up with that. And I also need to edit my podcast. Like, this is me always starting something before I have other stuff done. The same way every book I buy, I'm still reading like 5 books right now. I don't need to buy another book. It's me with recording podcasts. An idea pops in my head. I podcast and I'm like, wait, I still have 4 other episodes to be editing right now. And one's supposed to be coming out tomorrow. So I need to like catch up with everything. But this is just a nice little short episode to think about our parent relationships and how we see that play out in romantic relationships or friendships and the type of people we attract. If you don't know your attachment style, I would look into that. It's a beautiful world of understanding to me, knowing your attachment style is a very nice like blueprint of understanding where some things may come from. It's obviously not like the answer to everything, but it's a great way to look into what kind of relationship you have with your parents affects the way you are now, how your childhood affects the person you are today. So I would suggest going to, I think it's called, the Attachment Project. I think that's one of the really good quizzes because you can do it for your mom, your dad, and a significant other. And it gives you like a chart once you put your email in and like it plots where these people are on it. It's amazing. I love it. Or you could read books if you're really, really into it, like me. Or you could just get a, master's in marriage and family counseling, like I will be doing one day. But, it's really just up to you. But I think if we want to start with attachment style quizzes first, that's totally good. I'll wrap this up with a thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Oh, I'm coming out with new pump covers. They're like the design that I've been just waiting to release for so long. And they're in like nice heavyweight boxy tees. That's on Swoleshadyinc.com. That's going to be coming out soon. I have blog posts up there. Join the Muscle Mommy Running Club on Strava. Go to any of my Instagrams, Miss Swoleshady or Swoleshadyinc. Any of those, you will find the Muscle Mommy Running Club. If you can't join us in person, join us on Strava. Podcast next Wednesday. I'm excited for you guys to listen. I don't know which one it's going to be that I'm releasing, but yeah, thanks for tuning in.